Greetings, Hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Shatterdice Plays The Hunters AD 1492. And this could very well be our final chapter in this story, as last time we successfully took down the beast and learned that behind its presence was Heinrich von Lieberg, the Duke's brother. And so we were left with a choice to side with either the Duke or his brother. Now, the Duke's brother does seem to take a strong dislike to the cult of the Sower of Fire, which I also do, and we are going to be siding with Heinrich. We don't like what's been happening any more than you. The beast is dead, but the Sower's cult lingers. Perhaps a new regime would end the cult, as you suggest. We will help you take the throne. 36.11. Heinrich looks at you, as if probing your souls with his piercing gaze and assessing your sincerity. Well, I think I can trust you. The main goal is to eliminate the Duke. My allies will ensure that the throne is passed to me after his death. That's when we will bury the Eye of Sower, get rid of his priests, and plan our next move. Your task is to assassinate the Duke. Don't concern yourselves with anything else. One of my men, close to von Lieberg, will contact you once you've succeeded, and the future will be ours for the taking. Place S55 face down on M10. So we place S55 face down on Penzburg. Okay, so we are on day 55, I believe? Or is it day 56? Maybe it's day 56. So we are on day 56, I believe. So all we have to do is get back to Penzburg and do this. And I'm guessing that's going to be our finale. Now, we do have one slight problem. That the moment we arrive in Penzburg, we'll have to reveal this. And there's a chance that could immediately begin a quest. And we got a bit bashed up, or at least Wilhelm got a bit bashed up by the beast. So we are going to need to find a way to get Wilhelm some health back before we go all the way to Penzburg. So what we're going to do is stop off in Aschenwald. So we'll head to Aschenwald, see if we have a road event, and we do. So we take our level 3 road events and draw from the bottom, and we have got sleep. It's been a very hard day. You've just finished forcing your way through an area filled with treacherous marshes, and you fall down on the ground, completely exhausted. Your legs are soiled with stinking mud, your muscles trembling, your limbs unable to move. If you don't close your eyes for a moment, you won't make even one step. Each hero tests Strength 4 or Brain 4, their choice. Oh. Okay, well, Wilhelm is of course going to test Strength 4. And I suppose Freidrich will test Brain 4. So, for Wilhelm, he rolls a 2. He's got a Strength of 3, so he's fine, he passes. For Freidrich, he rolls a 2. And he's got a Brain of 1, so that's a 3, and we'll need to use 1 point of morale to take that up to a 4, and that allows him to pass. So, if at least one hero passes... Okay, we only actually needed one hero to pass, but it doesn't matter, we've done it now, so we'll still spend that morale. Wake up, we'll rest in some inn. You shake your companions and force them to stand up again. All of you muster enough strength to keep marching. Heroes who pass the test gain 1 experience. Heroes who fail the test lose 1 morale. Okay, so that means Freidrich is now on 17 experience. And Wilhelm is on 13. And then we arrive in Aschenwald. So unfortunately, Aschenwald doesn't have any services that allow us to heal. But if we go to the marketplace, we can buy the stuff we need to craft some healing potions. So we're going to spend 1 ducat to buy a fruit, 2 ducats to buy a stalk, 4 ducats to buy 2 roots, and that is going to give us everything we need to make a healing infusion at our wagon. So we get our healing infusion, very expensive healing infusion. We also had to spend 1 of the stalks we already had. And then we've got 2 yarn and 2 leaves, which will allow us to make 2 medicines. So we'll get 2 of these, but we're going to spend those immediately on Wilhelm to give him 4 health back, putting him up to 7 health. We're also going to give him that healing infusion for in case he needs to use it in the battle. And then we still have some steel we can sell. So we're going to sell this 1 steel for 2 ducats, which will allow us to buy 1 leaf and then have 1 ducat left over. So we'll take 1 ducat and then we'll take a leaf and we'll spend our final yarn to make another medicine, which we'll then use with Wilhelm to put him up to 9 health. Okay, so we're all healed up now. There's nothing else we really want to get from here, so we're just going to leave Aschenwald and head straight to Penzburg. So we're now on day 57. We head to Penzburg and we'll see if there's a road event. And there isn't. And we're now on day 58. So we resolve this card immediately. You reach the gate in the evening. You hear the ever-growing noise of the crowd. Once you pass a few streets, you notice a large throng of people gathered around the Duke's residence. People are brandishing torches and clubs. "Give our children back, murderers!" When they realise that you belong to the Duke's men, they rush in your direction. No matter what, everyone needs a scapegoat to vent their rage. Resolve Quest 27B. So, Quest 27B, Riots. Quest goal. With all heroes, reach the gate, marked by the edge on the board. Special rules. The crazed mob is enraged, but not explicitly murderous. You do not wish to slaughter the city's inhabitants. Each enemy reduced to 1 health is considered harmless and incapacitated. Heroes may only use short weapons, 1 slot, or fight barehanded. The heroes can block the road using wagons, crates, and overturned barrels. To do so, a hero has to perform the interact action on any space with the wagon icon. There are 4 such spaces. The space may not already have an enemy in it. A trap token should be placed on a space after it has been blocked. From then on, enemies treat this place as inaccessible. From each round, starting from round 3, new enemies appear on the board. Deploy 10 times veteran bandits on spaces 1, 2 and 3. 5 for 2 heroes, 8 for 3. The first new bandit is placed on space 1, the second one on space 2, the third on space 3, the fourth one on space 1 again, etc. At any time there can be up to 14 veteran bandits on the board. If this number would be exceeded, deploy less enemies. As there are only 6 bandit miniatures, other miniatures may be used in their place. The bandits have unique characteristics shown below. Bandit, Perception 0, Health 5, Defense 1 for melee, ranged and magic. Weapon is a melee attack with 2 strength plus 3 dice, and it uses the bandit's action card. Okay, that's interesting. So essentially we're just going to have a wave of bandits chasing us. Now these are bandits slightly different to what we're used to seeing, so we've only got their cards here. They shouldn't be too difficult to defeat, but to be honest, they're not that strong, so we can probably run through this. And as we can see on the board, we have these wagon spaces. So we can set traps here to stall them. And then we have these spaces where bandits will be spawning, so we're going to have them spawning here, here, and here. So we're going to pick our 5 starting cards, and they're of course going to be mostly used for moving, because I think we're just going to run for our escape point, which is right down here. So we have now picked our 5 starting cards, so all we have to do is shuffle the decks. Okay, and we are ready to begin. The bandits are Perception 0, so are Freidrich and Wilhelm. So we get to choose, so Wilhelm is going to go first. And the first thing he's going to play is his jump attack, which allows him to move 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1, 2 to there. And then he's going to play Protecting the Group to move our Parting Leap 1. So he's going to move to here. And he's not going to bother attacking, because I don't think this guy's going to pose much of a threat to us. So Freidrich is going to use Jump to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. And then he's going to use Running Shot to move, attack 3, and then move again. but we aren't going to bother shooting this guy. So he's going to move, but the veteran bandit will get to make an attack against him. So he has 2 strength plus 3 dice. And because it's a penalty strike, he hits on 3s. So he's going to do 2 plus 2 for his strength, that's 4. But Freidrich has 4 melee defense, so he's fine. And then that is the end of our turn. So the bandits will now go. So this first bandit will do an attack 3 against Wilhelm. So he rolls his dice, and he's sitting on 3s. So he does 4 damage total, but once again Wilhelm's armour completely protects him. Then the other bandits are going to just move 2 spaces towards them. So he will move 1, and he will stop here because of this difficult terrain, and he will move 1 and stop here because of the difficult terrain. And then we draw back up to our hand size. So 2 for Freidrich and 2 for Wilhelm. And then we go into round 2. And we can continue with our turn. So we're just going to do the same thing again. So we're going to start with Wilhelm. He's going to discard quick blows to use it as a movement. So he moves 1 to there. He takes the penalty strike, which does nothing to him. And then he's going to use protecting the group for a move or parting leap of 1. Okay, it's now Freidrich's turn. So Freidrich is going to use striking the artery to move 1 space. And then he's going to use versatility to heal 3. And then he is going to use versatility. Now, he doesn't need to heal because we're both at full health. But he can move or parting leap 2 spaces and then interact. So he's going to go 1, 2. And then he's going to interact with this wagon space. So we put a trap token here. And now nothing can move through that space. And that is our turn done. So we now go on to the bandits. Right, so this one, he is going to move 2 spaces, catching up to Wilhelm, and the other 2 will move 2 spaces towards Freidrich. But this one will stop because of the difficult terrain. Okay, and then we draw 2 cards. And we move on to round 3. And at the start of round 3, 10 veteran bandits spawn, and we're going to have to use a whole bunch of other miniatures for this. And that's our 10 veteran bandits. Okay, now this guy has created a problem for us. Because he is on a wagon space, and so we can't actually have Freidrich get there and block that road, because we can't do it if there's an enemy in the space. So we're just going to have to run for it. We're only going to take 1 penalty strike from these guys anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So Wilhelm is going to use protecting the group to do a parting leap and get out of this space. He takes a penalty strike from this bandit, who rolls 5, a 3 and a 1, and another 1, and 4. So he gets 3 hits plus his 2 strength. So even without his buckler, Wilhelm blocks all of that. And then we're just going to discard Blade Dance to use as a movement and move 1 more space. Then Freidrich is going to go, and he's going to discard Quick Aid to move 1 space into there. The rules aren't actually too clear. You need to be in the space to interact. So I guess we can move either way. So he's just going to move into here anyway. It doesn't matter because these barricades aren't going to be much use to us. And then he is going to use another running shot to do 2 move or parting leaps. So he's going to do 1 to get into this space, and he will take a penalty strike. So that is absolutely nothing. as his armour just completely blocks all of that. And then he's going to do another parting leap to get into there. So he takes another penalty strike. And again, his armour blocks anything they can do to him. Okay, and it's then the bandit's turn. So this guy is going to move 1 and attack 3. So again, Freidrich's armour blocks it all. This guy's going to move 1 and attack 3. And again, Freidrich's armour blocks it all. Now all of the others are going to move 1 and gain +1 defence token. So they will all move to there. He will move to there. They will move to there. And they will move to there. Okay, so there can only ever be a maximum of 14 veteran bandits on the board each round. So when we go on to round 4, we've got 13 on the board at the minute. So one more guy spawns at space 1. Oh, we need to draw our cards. So 2 for Freidrich, 2 for Wilhelm, and 2 for Freidrich. And this time, Wilhelm will discard a Blade Dance to move 1 space. And then he will discard a Flurry of Blows to move another space. So the first thing Freidrich is going to do is he's going to use this Disabling Infusion to immobilise all enemies within 0 to 1 range. So that means all of these guys and these guys are immobilised. Then he's going to use Answering the Call to move or Parting Leap 1 space. He takes a penalty strike. Ooh, a 3 and 2 1s. Wow, 2 more 1s. Okay, he might actually take some damage here. So 3, so that's, wow, that's 6. Plus another one, that's 7. Plus the 2 strength, that's 9 successes that penalty strike got. And his armour is 2, 3, 4, 5. His armour is 6, so he's actually going to take 3 damage from that, which drops him to 6 health. So they aren't quite as weak as I thought they were going to be. They definitely put one over on us there. So we'll need to shuffle the bandits' cards. We'll draw for them. Okay, so we'll do all of the others first. So these guys can't move. This guy can. So he is going to move 2. And then these will do the same. But he's passing into difficult terrain, so he only moves 1 space. They're going to move 1, 2, and they're going to move 1, 2. And then the 2 that are here with Wilhelm, they are both going to do an attack 2. So the first one does nothing. And the second one he gets 3 for 5, which Wilhelm's armour blocks. And that's the end of that round. So we have got 14 bandits on the board, so no more spawn, so we just need to draw our cards. And then we go on to round 5. So Wilhelm will go first, and he's going to use Advance to move our Parting Leap 1. We're not even going to bother gaining the offence token. So he moves 1 to here, and he takes a penalty strike. Add another die to it. It's not enough to hurt him. And then he's just going to discard a Precise Blow to move 1 more space. Then we have Freidrich's turn. And as Freidrich took some damage, we're going to use Anatomy to heal him 2 points of damage, putting him back up to 8 health. Then we're going to use Run for the Wounded, where he gets to heal 1 to himself and move our Parting Leap 1. So he's back up to 9 health. and he moves to here. Okay, and now all of the bandits will go. So they are all going to move 2. So we'll start with these guys. They move to there. Then we will do these 3, because they're only going to move 1 space because they're going into difficult terrain. These are also all going to go 1, 2, and move into there. These are also going to go 1, 2, so that space is extremely crowded now. And then we've just got him left, who is crossing into difficult terrain, so he just moves 1. Okay, so we've got the entire mob on our heels now, but we're pretty much out of here, so we'll draw our 2 cards for Wilhelm, and 2 for Friedrich. And then we go on to round 6. Okay, so thankfully we can just finish this off really quick. We're just going to discard 2 cards from Wilhelm to go 1, 2 and escape. And then 2 cards from Friedrich to go 1, 2 and escape. And that is that mission done. Victory. Each hero gains 4 experience. Move the hunter's marker on location 01. Okay, so with 4 experience, that puts Wilhelm up to 18 and Friedrich up to 21, I believe. Okay, so panic-stricken guards admit you through a sturdy side door. You immediately head for the Duke's chambers. My lord, what's happening? We barely escaped with our lives. Perched on his throne, the Duke strokes his chin, looking unconcerned. Commoners, merely an unwashed mob, unhappy with my decision to make additional offerings to the sower. But what is a few chosen in exchange for such power? We require the sower's help more than ever. His lip curls in disgust. Filthy commoners, you can't expect understanding from a simpleton who marks his name with an X, I suppose. A soft voice emerges from the shadows, shrouding the throne. The sower is with us. None can oppose our divine rule. The high priest steps forwards into the light, his voice taking on an ugly timbre. With nothing to withstand his power, who can say what we will accomplish? Expand his lordship's domain, perhaps even rout the mist from our lands. Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. The Duke interrupts him, thumping his fist on a meaty thigh. You have my gratitude for killing the beast. I'm certain the sower must have been at your side to strike down such a monster. A shared victory then, yours, his, and mine too. Now, we just have to deal with that treacherous brother of mine. The Duke's eyes bore into yours. But first, to welcome the chosen into the arms of our God, the embrace will be at dawn on the morrow. I hope we can count on seeing you there, after you've rested, of course. Okay, so we have a choice. A. I generally don't ask questions of my employer, but is it absolutely necessary to offer so many chosen to the sower, not to meddle in the matters not befitting our station, but even so? B. You allow the guards to lead you to your rooms. Your chamber is nearly bare, and obviously been prepared hastily, but no matter, you won't remain for long. You plan to assassinate Ulrich after midnight, plus 1 day, 38.02, or C. You attack immediately. There's no point in waiting any longer. You may never get another opportunity. 39A. Okay, let's ask him about A first. So we say, I generally don't ask questions of my employer, but is it absolutely necessary to offer so many chosen to the sower? Not to meddle in matters not befitting our station, but even so. 38.01. Exactly, the priest interrupts you with a shout. You have no idea what you're talking about. Do what the Duke pays you for, eliminating monsters and those who have summoned them. The matter has already been settled, adds Ulrich. There are no easy decisions. Have you ever ruled a kingdom, a duchy, or maybe just a small inn? I thought not. That's why you can't understand that difficult decisions are made for the common good. The Duke pauses for a moment to look outside the window at the shouting mob. I dreamed yesterday and saw the mist floating into Penzburg. How it flooded its streets and markets, how it swallowed one inhabitant after another. Each and every house filled with the dead, turning the town into one vast cemetery. I don't want this to happen. Is it so hard to understand? If I don't protect these people, no one else will. Now, leave me alone. We will meet at the embrace tomorrow. So I have another choice. A. You go to rest in a hastily prepared chamber until the mob on the streets calms down. The Duke doesn't want to leave his residence. You plan to assassinate Ulrich after midnight. Plus 1 day, 38.02. Or B. You attack immediately. There's no point in waiting any longer. All the guards are standing outside, in front of the door. If you go past them, only the Duke and the priest will remain. It will be the best opportunity you will ever have. Right, so we can either try and assassinate him now, or we can wait a day. I think we're on day 58. I've actually lost track a little bit towards the end here. I think we're just going to attack him now, because he's only got a couple of guards with him, and we might be able to take out the priest as well. Whereas if we come back after midnight, maybe he'll be alone. It might be a bit easier, but hopefully we can get the priest as well. So we're going to go with B and attack immediately. Resolve quest 39A. Oh, but before we resolve quest 39A, before we open our quest book and do that, we are going to spend 15 experience points from both Wilhelm and Freidrich, which drops Freidrich to 6 and Wilhelm down to 3. And we are going to use that to upgrade their total health values. Okay, and then quest 39A. Your lordship, this madness must end. There is a more simple solution to all this. We are going to do things our way, from here on out. You draw your weapons and face the Duke, keeping one eye on the priest. Kill him already! Let's be done with it, adds Kepler. Heinrich will be here soon enough. The priest, in league with the Duke's brother. Your eyes widen slightly with surprise. Ulrich takes advantage of the distraction, retreating backwards and grabbing an axe hung on the wall. Traitors! Guards! The clamour of running boots echoes up the corridor. The priest sinks into the shadows as Ulrich raises his axe. You charge. Well, there's a surprise. So, the priest, who is the main guy we want to kill, is actually in league with the Duke's brother. Which means we kind of want to kill the Duke's brother as well. Okay, so maybe we've gone down the slightly wrong path here of who we want to get rid of. But never mind. So, quest goal. Your quest goal is to defeat the Duke by the end of round 8. Special rules. At the beginning of round 3 and 5, new enemies appear on the board. Deploy 4 veteran handgunners on space 1, 2 for 2 heroes. In round 4 and 6, new enemies appear on the board. Deploy 2 times veteran Raubriters on space 2, 1 for 2 heroes. At any time, there can be up to 4 handgunners and 2 Raubriters on the board. If this number would be exceeded, deploy less enemies. The Duke has unique characteristics shown below. So, Duke Ulrich von Lieberg has 2 perception, 15 health, 6 melee defense, 4 range defense, and 4 magic defense. And his weapon is strength 2 plus 5 dice. And the Duke uses the leader's action cards. Special ability, Will to Survive. Any hero attacking the Duke lowers their strength, agility, or brain by 1 for this attack. And it tells us in the deployment that he begins with 7 damage on him. So here is our setup for this quest. So it says in the deployment that we only have 1 Robriter for 2 heroes, but this has the marks for 2. So I'm going to go with the book here and put it on 2. Right, so it looks like this is our end game. We just need to kill the Duke. And we have got our action cards here. So all we have to do now is shuffle the decks. Okay, so I've just realised actually they shouldn't start there. They should be here for space A, because we're already in the Duke's chamber. So this will hopefully make things a bit easier. So we're ready to begin. And the Duke will go first. And the Duke has 7 damage on him. So the Duke's going to go first. And he's just going to gain +1 defense token. Okay, and then the Roberters will go. So the Roberters, they're going to move 2 spaces to there as they charge into the room. Okay, we're going to start with Freidrich, who is going to use running shot to move while parting leap 1 and then do an attack. And we're going to use the reaction from striking the artery. So each hit we do is going to count as 2 damage. And of course, he's going to attempt to blow the Duke's head off. So because we're going up against the Duke, we're going to use both his lead balls and gunpowder. So it's going to be a 6 dice attack. And we will add +1 to our agility. However, the Duke's will survive ability reduces our agility by 1 for this attack. So we'll just ignore the improved gunpowder, but we've used it. Okay, so we are hitting on 3s. It's not a terrible roll. It's not amazing. So we get 3, plus our agility of 3, so that becomes 6. Now, the Duke has a range defense of 4, plus his defense token, which makes it 5. However, the musket has a pierce value of 3, and this card gives it an additional pierce value of 2. So that's going to ignore all of his armour. So we're going to do 6 points of damage, which is going to double, because of our striking the artery card, to become 12, which is more than enough to kill him. So, as promised, Freidrich blows the Duke's head off with a single shot. And that's the end of round 8. So I guess we probably should have finished this after we killed the Duke. It doesn't say you have to kill all enemies, it just says defeat the Duke, which we've done. But if there's any more quests, then this guy's done us a bit of damage, I suppose. So that's the end of that quest. I guess he just runs away. Victory. Warm blood swirls over cold marble. The Duke's body lies dead on the floor. The turmoil outside grows louder, and you can make out the terrified shouts of guards being drowned out by triumphant cheering from the frenzied mob beyond the wall. A splintering crash follows shortly after. The heavy oak gates have finally succumbed to the throngs of rioters. The hundreds of running feet sound like an approaching rainstorm, and firelight already dances across the walls and through windows. The mob is armed with torches and is already setting furniture and outbuildings alight. Well done, but we must escape from here. Heinrich rushes into the room, barely pausing to glance at the corpse of his brother. Kepler emerges from the shadows to peer out the windows. He quickly ducks under a hail of stones, cheek cut and bleeding from a jagged rock. He flees from the bedroom after Heinrich. After a moment's hesitation, you follow, taking up the rear. Through the hall, down flight after flight of stairs, screams and fire following your every step in the mad dash for safety. The peasants are burning and killing indiscriminately as they storm the palace. You slam the door to the cellar behind you and stop to catch your breath in the darkness. Mould and the stink of stale wines fills your nostrils. Kepler, where have you gone, you old goat? Kepler! Heinrich hisses into the blackness ahead, waving his torch to and fro and peering between casks and dusty ancient barrels. Look out, man! Kepler's silhouette is motionless in the darkness beyond, faintly illuminated by the flickering torch. A pair of dark shapes stalk toward you with serpentine grace, sniffing at the air. Good lads, loyal, and I see you're ready for your supper. The priest reaches out and places a hand on one of the hulking mist hounds, scratching it gently behind a dusky ear. Threads of mist curl out from the beasts, searching among the barrels. Kepler turns to the two of you with a sinister grin. Time to end this travesty. You will soon join your brother in hell. The power of the sower and the mist can be mingled. This world is changing, and it has no room for the monarchy or its archaic orders. All will be rebuilt anew. Pity you won't be here to witness it. The hounds stalk toward you, drooling mist from black maws. The shadows in the cellar stir, Other vile creatures have already surrounded you and begin to creep into the faltering pool of torchlight. Each hero gains 8 experience. The hero dealt the Duke a finishing blow gains 2 experience and loses 1 morale. Oh dear. Huh. So Freidrich loses a morale, dropping into -1 morale. And then we resolve quest 34. And I think that is where we are going to leave this one. So, as always, thank you very much for joining. I hope you've been enjoying this series. And as always, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, all the usual YouTube stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.